Hi, this is Jay Norris, author of Mastering the Currency Market, also host of Live Market Exercise at Clovernest.com. Welcome to the weekly report. Before we get to the charts, we do need to point out that trading futures and Forex involves substantial risk of loss and is not suitable for every investor. The charts we're going to be looking at the patterns and such may not be replicated going forward. First market we're looking at is the Australian US dollar. Hey, let's kick it up to a weekly chart. See what there is to see. I get this a lot. I hear a lot of people talking about, oh, that's a triple top or a head and shoulder top. And, you never can outrule anything in these markets. But when I look at the long-term trend in this market, it's higher. And I say that with a good bit of confidence because of the price pattern. The overall price pattern on the chart. Here's the higher high, here's the higher high. But just going back, to the kind of the 09 when after it had, shook off the big panic of 08, you go back to 09, and really that's where the bottom of the bull starts. And, just basic channel lines, that tells me, you're in a bull market. My directional lines also tell me I'm in a bull market. You can see you're up on the monthly, up on the weekly, up on the daily. To me, that's just a market that you play it on the long side. I'm not necessarily big on price formations. I'm more a fan of price action. And here, if we drop down to the lower time frames, this is where we were camped out in our live market exercise yesterday, Friday, which we do during the U.S. session. And, we keep it real simple. Trend line analysis. And there you go. That's how we view it on the lower time frames. But it all starts on the higher time frames. So, we're in a position. What do you think we're looking for here with the higher time frames? Looking, we'd be interested in buy setups and buy signals otherwise. So, it all starts with those higher time frames, and looking at the weekly we were just on. Here, I'll go back there again. That's my daily chart. Looking at the weekly, it looks pretty good to me. It looks pretty healthy to me. If anything, you've been going sideways for the last 3 weeks, and you're holding that short-term trend line inside of a larger bull channel. So, I'm a big believer that what's going on your price patterns are just a reflection of what's going on overall in the overall economy over there, and really more so than that, demographics and natural resources and all that good stuff that markets are priced on. Very favorable demographics over there for Australia. So sure, they've got problems like everyone else. Their real estate maybe look toppy like it does in so many regions around the world. However, when you're able to make money, when you see traders making money on the long side, that tends to feed on itself. So regardless what you think short term, the long term price pattern is higher. Heck, as the short term price pattern. So we really like Aussie on the upside still. Euro US dollar next. Big up day in the euro. We said that in Friday's broadcast. I said, this looks like it's set up for a big short covering rally and to end the week on a Friday. Oftentimes you do get big counter trend moves on Friday. I don't know if this was a counter trend move. It certainly started out as a bit of a counter trend move midweek, but now, it could be a new move higher. So the euro looking very strong. Weekly higher, daily shifted higher. Actually, your daily did shift higher. Wednesday's close into Thursday, so you had a pretty good heads up. Let's slip out to the weekly chart and see what there's to see on those higher time frames. There's room on the upside. We've been saying for a long time that you can't rule out a double top up to 42. I remember penning that in some of the posts on the blog way back too. And you can't rule that out. And what we've been saying all along, all last week, really for 2 weeks now, was that you're pinned in a counter trend environment. The weekly's up, but the monthly's down. So you're definitely susceptible to intraday price swings. You have to take a reversal on a 4-hour chart, even an hourly chart, much more seriously when you're in this particular environment. You can see it more clearly on the daily chart where you're below your monthly direction line, above your weekly direction line. That's a counter trend, people, and that's what we said. So when you see a 4-hour shift such as you had down here, you can see the shift and it clears the daily line. Brother, you better take that seriously, because look at those moving averages. They've been just pointing higher the whole way. I mean, they're just railroad tracks pointing in the direction, and that switch occurred down here, really here with earnest, and nothing's changed. That was early in the week too. So, essentially, that's what we've been saying all along. When you're in that particular environment, you have to be mindful of those shorter-term trend shifts, and that's just the nature of counter-trending markets. Pound, U.S. dollar. You know what I love about doing the daily report here? Whoop, that's a buy signal going off if I ever heard one. What I do like about the daily report, and now we're on our own website, Clovernest, along with Forex TV, is you can go back and you can see the past reports and see what we said. And I think that's important, and I do that myself also, because I think it's important to you have to know where you came from for sure. And it really lends a lot of continuity to myself and my own analysis. Bottom line, hey, let's get back on track. The pound U.S. dollar, it's up on the weekly, up on the daily. Look at that. You're bumping up against that monthly resistance. People, that is big. Let's pan out to the weekly. Whoops. This is really big. I mean, I guess if you're a pessimist, you say, well, you haven't got through the resistance yet. If you're an optimist, you say, boy, you want to be long heading into that resistance. I tend to be an optimist. I'd much rather be long heading into structure here, heading into resistance, than try to wait till it gets there and then short it. I'd rather be long heading into it. If it pauses on it, I can take some off or take it all off, and then let it close through there, or whatever it's going to do. But obviously you're at significant structure. You have a good confluence of resistance here. Well, the monthly's right there, which also happens to be the high of the second half of 2010. So, this is very interesting. The pound's very strong. It won't back down. Now it very shallow retracement here. Couldn't back down now. They're coming right back for it. So I would tend to go with what's happening now. I respect the momentum. Okay, your momentum indicator's barely kicking it yet. Once that does kick it, I think they go for, this trend line up here. Well, mindful, you have a double top in place currently right now. However, the weekly's up, the daily's up. That's powerful stuff. Knocking on the door of that monthly. That's definitely one to watch. Hey, let's check out the Chief, Dollar Chief. Dollar Chief definitely turned back lower. That was another one where I said, hey, watch that 4-hour chart. Because, it was interesting at the time you had the weekly up and the daily up, but once you got that shift on the 4-hour, in an environment where that monthly trend was down, the monthly trend was obviously down, so your counter trend weekly, monthly, and, hey, look at that 4-hour shift. You had to be mindful of that. Where we're at now, that weekly line will shift down. The daily's down, the weekly's down, the monthly's down, so you're back on the short side. So the only way to work that for now would be the short side. So everything's lining back up. We'll come in Monday. That white line will be up here, and it'll be all lined up on the downside. I still wouldn't be crazy about pressing this market down here, though. Who knows? Maybe 90 even is in the cards, though. I think overall you're probably putting in that big rounded bottom here. So we'll have to see how that goes. If you imagine here to here and then turning up there. So, it may be triple bottom. Maybe triple bottom. We can't rule out a trip to 93, the figure, though. So I think you could see 93, the figure there in the Swissy dollar yen next. Dollar yen's holding up pretty good. This bodes well for the yen pairs. It really does. when these markets do start to roll, if the dollar pairs do start to roll back up and you get a correction in the majors, it's probably going to be more than a correction. Probably may even be a continuation of an up move for dollar yen, certainly for the other yen pairs. I'm pretty bulled up on the yen pairs. I think you're in the process of putting in a big rounded bottom here also. But this is very telling that you're getting a very short, a very shallow retracement in dollar yen. Here's the weekly chart. You could see that you're hemmed in here pretty good, very small range, monthly line right at the bottom too, people. So that could be a significant shift. We'll have to see. It's not unheard of to have actually have a weak dollar but a strong dollar yen. I imagine you can go back and we'll give you 06 would be examples of that, when you actually had a weaker dollar in 06 and 07, but you had a stronger dollar yen. So it has occurred. So we can't rule that out. I'm talking about those yen pairs. I'm bulled up on the yen pairs. Just let me give you a quick example of that Aussie yen here on a long-term chart. We talked about this one a lot in the live market exercise. It was a great 2 weeks back doing the live market exercise. We have a lot of fun with that, and that's free for clients at Clovernest.com. Go to our website, Clovernest.com, and open up a demo account with us. We've got all kinds of demos, Ninja demo, Best Track Date demo, where you do futures and Forex, MetaTrader demos, e-signal demos. And then sign up for a demo. We'll get in touch with you, and we'll invite you into the live market exercise. You come and check it out. That's where we point out setups and signals in live markets during the London and U.S. session on intraday charts. This is good stuff here, though. Back on point. Nice little breakout. Smooth little uptick here. I think there's plenty of room here, and this, this is a big move. So we definitely want to watch Aussie yen, and we want the best for the yen pairs. Put it that way. We're bulled up on them. Here's pound yen. We wrote about that on the blog, on the Trading U blog, and this guy's starting to come to life also. There you go. Is that a bullish chart or what? I'm telling you, that looks like corn at $2 to me, where prices get so compressed and there's really nowhere to go but up, and it starts with short covering, and I think that's what you saw, pretty good short covering the last 2 weeks. Hey, let's look at the U.S. stock market and then the dollar index, and then we'll wrap it up. Thank you very much for attending, and thank everyone on Forex TV also. There's the U.S. stock market. Extremely strong market, and there's our next target we drew. That's the 07 low. That's a natural target. Well, you're in a bull market. You're back in a bull market. Big uptick again this weekend, I think. This week, I think that's your upside target. Very healthy looking stock market, that's for sure. Here's your dollar index back on the downside. Can't get it too attached to these moves, that's for sure. You got to call it like you see it. And hey, if it's aligned, you trade it the way it's moving. If it's not aligned, then you have to swing trade it. You counter trend trade it. Your U.S. dollar index is now aligned on the downside. Oh, you couldn't take out that weekly line though. Here's your weekly chart. You can see it's looks like it's poised for a test of those lower time frames here. We'll draw a trend line here. So it looks like you're going to go down there and test the monthly line. Here's the daily chart of that of dollar index. Well, outside shot, it holds the weekly line. Boy, a lot of, it kind of reminds me of the pound, too, where the pound's coming up, it's the mirror of the pound, where the pound's trying to bump up against some serious resistance. Here, the dollar's bumping up against somewhat serious support. So we'll have to watch that. The old saying, lose your opinion, not your money. I'm pretty bulled up on the Australian U.S. dollar, pretty bulled up on those yen pairs, Aussie yen and pound yen and CAD yen also. So they'll be ones we're going to focus on next week. Hey, thank you very much. My name is Jay Norris. I wrote Mastering the Currency Market. I'm a host of Live Market Exercise. Come and see us at Clovernest.com, and we'd appreciate that. And we'll catch you all next week.